Inner Space, the Infinite Frontier. This is a voyage of story and study fashioned for you. Its purpose? To reveal to you the universe of mind, body, and spirit. To boldly take you where no one has taken you before. Welcome aboard. This is Dr. James Reaney, and I'm here to share with you an information technology I designed and developed to help you understand the inner workings of your mind, body, and spirit. And although I don't know you, I know enough about how we are like to speak to your inner wants, needs, and desires. Over 20 years of professional experience, both as a psychotherapist and as an educator, have provided me with the opportunity to develop a unique insight into the mind and human nature. From this comprehensive perspective, I have developed Letting Destiny Deliver, a prescription for self-health. This prescription contains 14 separate segments which can stand alone or be used in combination. For the best results, I suggest you listen to each in order from beginning to end. Once you've done this, you can listen to any part anytime you choose. This prescription is an information delivery system designed to work with both your conscious and unconscious mind. This means you don't always have to listen to me consciously, because your unconscious can hear me even if your conscious mind does drift. So feel free to let your conscious mind drift as you listen, because sooner or later it will hear something that will grab your attention, and you will once again focus back on what I am saying consciously. This technology, having been designed for both your minds, will not only increase your conscious awareness, but also your unconscious competence. One final note before we begin. If you need a psychological pick-me-up for any reason, or if you just want something refreshing for the mind, then take a listen. You will find it to be just what the doctor ordered. You can listen to these in your car, at the gym, on your headphones, anytime or any place. Having said this, we are now poised to go deeper into the inner space of human consciousness, human nature, and human interaction. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready to discover a relationship between two minds, the conscious and unconscious. Discover what I have discovered and learn about the unconscious mind and its central role in the self-health system of mind, body, and spirit. By the end of this, you will have all the tools you need to take control of your mind, relationships, and your life. So let's begin by giving you the cornerstone of this prescription. But before I give it to you, I want you to know you must be prepared to respect its importance. It may seem insignificant on the surface, but I assure you it is not. Are you ready? Here it is, the cornerstone of this prescription. You need to understand that out of the darkness of pre-recorded history emerged this extraordinary organ, the human brain. It yielded the human mind, which has a unique ability, the ability to be conscious of self, the ability to understand one's place on the planet and in time. This ability is what makes destiny possible. The human brain, with the mind as its satellite, allows you to have not only intelligence and imagination, but also awareness. Destiny may sound like a romantic fantasy, but it's not. It's a mandate, and it commands you to achieve that certain awareness that is you. So if you want to comply with your mandate, stay tuned and learn how to tap the powerful forces that shape and control your destiny. Letting Destiny Deliver is a one-of-a-kind prescription containing a rare combination of ingredients. These ingredients are effective at neutralizing and overcoming the limiting beliefs that threaten your self-health system. These limiting beliefs, left undetected, will hinder your ability to think more creatively, to remember more effortlessly, and to focus more purposefully. This prescription comes in the form of a fantastic journey that weaves a trail through the fabric of social and instinctual forces that drive you as a mind, as a body, and as a spirit. So I encourage you to take this journey now and let it free you from the limiting beliefs that produce unwanted fears, doubts, and self-censure, all of which limit your range of activity. This journey into inner space will introduce you to many of the essential aspects involved in having and maintaining self-health. Self-health not as you understand it now, but as you will come to understand it. In the end, you will be able to distinguish self-health from self-sabotage. It's time now to start working on those belief systems of yours. Are you ready? Ready or not, here we go. If I told you you were made of the stuff that stars are made of, would you believe me? It's true, even though you may find it hard to believe. According to scientists, we are all made of stardust. And not only are we made of the same stuff as stars, but we are also subject to the same universal forces, the opposing forces of nature. You see, stars have an inner core made of hot gases that by nature expand. At the same time, gravity acts on the star, compelling it to contract. Together, these opposing forces of expansion and contraction give the star its shape and form. Like the stars, we possess an inner core that seeks expansion. This inner core, pre-programmed to grow and meet certain needs, must also contend with the gravitational forces of the outside world. Simply put, we are moved by forces from within as well as from without. Together, these opposing forces shape and form who we are.
It's deja vu. This moment's happened before.
It's time to check in and see how your belief systems are doing. Question number 1. Do you believe that we are made of the same stuff as stars? Okay, now for question number 2. Do you believe that we possess an inner core that, like the sun's, seeks expansion? If you answered yes, then your belief systems show excellent promise. If you answered no, maybe you just need more time or more information. The beauty of letting destiny deliver is that it is a drug-free prescription. It effectively works on your limiting beliefs, even ones you don't know you have, by increasing your level of awareness and understanding of the self-health system, better known as the mind, body, and spirit. This idea that we have an inner core is very important. The reason being is that the inner core, which is full of powerful forces, drives the mind, the body, and the spirit from within to fulfill a destiny. Focusing in on the inner core's current level of evolution reveals 2 tiers. The lower tier, which is the oldest part of the core, houses our basic animal instincts. The upper tier, the newest part of the core, houses our advanced human instincts. The basic instincts came first in the form of biological needs to guarantee our biological survival. The higher, more advanced instincts developed as we banded together to ensure our social and psychological survival. Together, these 2 tiers have given rise to 3 dimensions of awareness: the mind, body, and spirit. The animal instincts are the ones we are most familiar with, as they drive us to sleep, eat, quench our thirst, reproduce, and seek shelter from harm. These basic instincts drive us on a daily basis because they are necessary for sheer survival. On the other hand, the higher advanced instincts will us to give life meaning and purpose. They drive us to give and receive love, to belong, to give and receive respect, to learn, to develop spiritually, and to be individuals. The advanced instincts drive us to reach our fullest potential, which includes making the world a better place. There is a catch, however, with the higher instincts. We don't die if we don't fulfill them. Why is this a catch? Because even though they drive us, we can ignore them. It's not a do or die situation like with the biological needs. This ability to ignore the higher instincts makes it easier to neglect them. Neglecting or undermining all or some of the higher instincts is detrimental to the self-health system. Today we have amassed a knowledge base that is unprecedented in history. This knowledge has given us a godlike understanding of nature's driving forces. With this power and awesome scope of understanding, we have created a world that stands tall, empowered with science, technology, and information systems. Yet all is not right. In the process of amassing all this knowledge, we have alienated ourselves from the other, higher instincts, which are just as important. Unfortunately, our technological ascendance has been at the expense of our understanding and respect for the inner world and each other. To recapture the balance between the opposing forces of the inner and outer worlds, we need to be better equipped to strike a better balance between knowledge and instinct. For this to happen, methods must be devised for improving the human side of technology as effectively as we have the technological side. Letting Destiny Deliver is such a method, as it is a prescription designed to empower the inner world by increasing your overall understanding of human nature, human consciousness, and human interaction. Letting Destiny Deliver instills faith in the instincts and also encourages you to develop a consciousness that does not confuse the instincts of the lower tier for the higher ones, such as sex for love, vanity for self-respect, pretense for realness, and sameness for security. Letting Destiny Deliver makes distinguishing truth from deception, sincerity from seduction, and true desire from imitation, fad, or fashion possible, and thereby empowers you to choose self-help over self-sabotage. Will the instincts pull you down or give you a lift? Will you live life or let struggle lead to strife? When the instincts are invested in being actual, you are being real. When the instincts are invested in your potential, even bad things turn out well. Use instinct and don't be afraid to think. Remember, the instincts are the missing link between who you are and what you think. So use instinct and don't be afraid to think. The instincts drive us all to feel safe, rested, to have a full stomach, to be loved, respected, understood, needed, and to be somebody. However, conforming to the dictates of the outer world makes expressing and satisfying these needs so laden with fear, guilt, shame, confusion, and humiliation that it boggles the mind. Because of this, we can become cynical, hard, or overprotective. If this happens, we risk drifting away from the inner core's most important social survival mechanism, its innate goodness and softness. So whether you are tired of the same old, or doing well and just wanting more out of life, you are in a position to benefit from what Letting Destiny Deliver has to offer. This is not a self-help program, but an information delivery system. Letting Destiny Deliver is a prescription that translates the haphazard and random forces of human nature, human consciousness, and human interaction and organizes them for you into a workable system that promotes self-help. Just as the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue produce any of the secondary colors of green, purple, and so on, every condition of self-health or illness can be accounted for by the way consciousness organizes the opposing forces of nature and defines the self. What takes place in the realm of consciousness, which is always being confronted by opposing forces, is the key to self-health. The answer, however, is not to eliminate either force, because consciousness, like any energy system, is dependent on the tension of opposites. Opposites like expansion and contraction create nature's rhythms and cycles. Opposition is nature's way of breathing life into the universe. The heart expands and contracts. The lungs expand and contract. The tides ebb and flow, the seasons come and go. Opposition creates cycles and rhythms by attracting its opposite. Just as what is hot becomes cold and what is cold becomes hot, youth turns into old age and day turns into night. What is full becomes empty and what is empty becomes full, like the moon waxes and wanes. Since everything has its opposite, we are always being confronted by opposing forces. What this means at the psychological level is that we experience opposition with its rhythms and cycles as tension and satisfaction. In fact, there is a tug-of-war between the biological side of our nature and the social side. There is also a tug-of-war between the needs of the mind and the needs of the body, and between pleasure and pain. Because each part wants to dominate, we are pulled first one way, then another. Sometimes we are pulled to the breaking point, and that is why I want to help you achieve the kind of understandings you need to effectively deal with opposition and tension so you can have self-health. The kind of understandings that take advantage of knowledge and instinct, conscious and unconscious awareness, to successfully navigate the seas of tension, satisfaction, and opposition. Most important, the kind of understandings that allow you to tune into your inner navigator, the self. You can't have self-health if you don't have a sense of who you are. I'll let you in on a little secret. Everybody possesses a self, and every self is as unique as the stripes on a zebra. Nature's purpose for this unique pattern of stripes is to make one zebra distinguishable from the other. The self, like the zebra stripes, is what distinguishes one person from another. This is because the self is our unique psychological skeleton that commands, shapes, and propels us from within to fuller expression and development. You see, the self directs us as to how we should transform random instinctual impulses into an organized system giving life order and purpose. To uncover the essence of self is not easy because it lies buried in the recesses of the unconscious and therefore must be brought to the surface. Metaphorically speaking, it's like being an archaeologist on an excavation. You need to be able to remove or scoop away those aspects that do not belong in order to expose or uncover those that do belong, but which lie hidden, waiting to be discovered. It is not enough, however, just to remove those aspects that do not belong. It is also necessary to nurture those that do. To be competent, you must be able to organize the random instinctual impulses of the inner core and help the self join forces with consciousness to create a self-reflective consciousness. Self-reflective consciousness is nature's special gift to us. It not only empowers us to reconcile the opposites, it also enables nature to become more abundant. Competence at resolving the opposites is vital to achieving self-health and to keep consciousness evolving. What I am telling you is that as inconvenient as opposition may seem, it nonetheless is necessary because awareness as we know it could not exist without opposition. Opposition makes balance and meaning possible. For example, without pain we would not appreciate pleasure. And what about the expression, you don't know what you've got till it's gone? Opposition makes us infinite and imperfect at the same time, because we could not be infinite were we not imperfect. If we were perfect, there would be no opportunity for growth. Since we will never be perfect, there is room for infinite growth. Robert Frost the poet understood this, as he always would strive to write the perfect poem, even though he knew he never would. Opposing forces create awareness as they push us to see things from many perspectives, such as being touched by death causes one to see life from a different perspective. Bottom line, just as the body needs oxygen, the mind needs opposition to be alive and growing. But just as oxygen can promote growth or deterioration, so can opposition. To prevent psychological deterioration, you must take advantage of nature's gift to you, your human consciousness. Don't get lost in the superficial, fast-paced, high-tech lifestyle that can cram your day so full there is little time for conscious self-reflection to uncover and discover who you are, as well as the deeper meaning of your life. Use opposition then to achieve balance. Imagine standing on one leg and maintaining your balance, or using one arm to get things done. Imagine having one eye. You would literally lose perspective. Self-health means using opposition to gain perspective and deeper levels of understanding. Self-sabotage is where opposition, rather than promoting growth, brings about deterioration by producing chronic conflict, avoidance, or one-sided thinking. You can keep this from happening and further your self-health by realizing that the deeper meaning and purpose in life is to nurture and realize the essence of self. If you do this, you will achieve your destiny. This idea is so universal that we find it everywhere in songs, stories, and everyday life. Take, for example, a song from the 70s by the Grand Funk Railroad entitled, "I'm Your Captain." The lyrics go like this. Everybody listen to me and return me my ship. I'm your captain, though I'm feeling mighty sick. I've been lost now, days uncounted, and it's months since I've seen home. Can you hear me, or am I all alone? If you return me to my home port, I will kiss you, Mother Earth. Take me back now, to the point of my birth. Am I in my cabin dreaming, or are you really scheming to take my ship away from me? You'd better think about it, I just can't live without it. So please, don't take my ship from me. At the literal level, this song is about a captain who has a mutiny on his hands. On the symbolic level, the song is about his struggle to find the self. Rewriting the song from the self-health perspective, the song would go like this. Everybody listen to me and return me my destiny. I'm your consciousness, though I'm feeling mighty empty. I've been lost now, days uncounted, and it's months since I've seen my throne. Can you hear me, or am I all alone? If you return me to my instincts, I will kiss Mother Nature's presence. Take me back now, to the point of my essence. Am I in my mind dreaming, or are you really scheming to take my destiny from me? You'd better think about it, I just can't live without it. So please, don't take my destiny from me. This rewriting shows how on the symbolic level this song reflects the self-health process. On the symbolic level, the captain represents consciousness, the ship destiny, and the point of his birth, his essence or self. Further interpretation of these symbols reveals a cry for help from a consciousness full of feelings of emptiness. These feelings have emerged due to a disconnect from self and others. Feeling empty and lost, his consciousness is searching for a way to reconnect to the inner and outer worlds. If reconnected, he can resume his journey. In an attempt to find reality, he reflects on what is happening to him. He reflects to figure out if this is all in his mind or if it is really happening. Is he crazy, or is his destiny being taken away by those he relied on to help him reach it? His reflections bring him to the conclusion that he cannot live without a purpose or destiny. He also realizes that negative outside forces have the power to snatch his destiny out from under him. People like yourself who are unfamiliar with their instinctual core and its requirements are going to be lost days uncounted, because today's consciousness, with its heavy emphasis on scientific thought, is taking you further and further away from your instinctual roots. The steering of consciousness according to science and technology is taking your ship away in a subtle and imperceptible manner by emphasizing rational knowledge. As the goddess of reason grows greater, we tend to rely less and less on our instinctual base, and in the process lose our home port, as well as our natural connection to each other. It's not that science and technology are bad, because they're not. It's just that with the advent of technology, the boundary between the real and the unreal has become blurred, and with it, our natural means of orientation and healing. Rather than being able to do things naturally, we rely on pills. Rather than living our own lives, we live vicariously through our heroes. Rather than being real, we pretend. If technology is at the expense of the instincts and individuality, it will put self-health at risk. And if we as a race continue to lose our connection to our instinctual foundations, our chances for social and psychological survival will be greatly compromised. Science and technology can be hazardous to self-health if its laws, formulas, and statistics are how we define our reality. If we can only see ourselves in these terms, we will have fallen under the spell of science. Using science to define the self results in a leveling down process. Science, by putting things into conceptual averages, displaces the worth of the individual in favor of anonymous units that are manipulated. These statistics and averages are an attempt to tell us who we are as well as what we can expect, yet they reveal very little about our potential or our true self. Science has created the mythological average person. Let's say, for example, you were given 25 rocks and told the average weight of a rock was 1/3 of a pound. Then you were asked to find a rock weighing exactly 1/3 of a pound. You probably would have to go through several rocks before you would find one rock, if any, weighing exactly 1/3 of a pound. So on the one hand, you have a statistical average telling you what you can expect from the individual rock based on all the rocks. On the other hand, few, if any, would fit into the norm. In other words, each rock loses its individual identity. It has no choice but to take on characteristics that do not belong because the mythological average rock deems it so. The scientific statistical world sets up a situation where the goal and meaning of the individual no longer lies in individual development, but in prescribing who we are and what we can expect according to statistics and research. This method, although useful in certain respects, nonetheless creates all kinds of limited beliefs and thinking. We are more and more deprived of moral decision because the scholars and rule makers prescribe everything. Rather than figuring out how to live our own lives, we are ruled, fed, clothed, and educated as a social unit, accommodated in the appropriate housing, and amused in accordance with the standards that give pleasure to the masses. If you want to break free of these spells, you will have to ask yourself, what is the true nature of my individual being? To answer that question properly, you will need to have self-knowledge and a greater appreciation for the higher instincts of the inner core. Why? Because only when consciousness is properly linked to the self and the instincts does it become better able to communicate to the ego what is real and what is not. Letting destiny deliver is a prescription for those with the inspiration and desire to rise above the norm. Letting destiny deliver is for those who wish to awaken from the spells that blur and distort who they are. Are you one of those who is willing to meet the challenge? The time has come for you to make a decision. Do you take consciousness on this journey and take destiny into your own hands? Or do you remain unconscious and asleep like Rip Van Winkle? Inner space, the infinite frontier. This is a voyage of story and study fashioned for you. Its purpose? To reveal to you the universe of mind, body, and spirit, to boldly take you where no one has taken you before.